years old, and my father died because I guess we had just lived in this little house close to my grandparents and had just a regular family life. And when my father died, everything changed. I've never had a home since that time. And
that was when you were 6? That was when you were 6 years old?
I was 6 years old.
And you were born in?
Burt County, North Carolina.
In
1912.
So this was 1918.
March the 7th, 1912.
March the 7th, 1912.
So I've had a very uneventful life, and I would say a good life. I haven't had any real tragedies since losing my father. Things have gone along, I guess, just about normal, and I can't. I worked until I was married, and we had a real good. I had a wonderful husband. He treated me like a baby. We had one little girl. Yeah, I have one grandson, so I've had a good life.
I'd love for you to talk to us a little bit about some of your earliest memories, Mima, and just about kind of growing up and kind of the house you lived in and your siblings, and if you don't mind just rewinding a little bit. I know you said you don't remember too much, but tell me what you do now.
I don't remember much about my early life. We just lived in a little white house next to my grandparents, and we had our little family, and I guess lived our own little life. I remember sitting by an open fire on my father's lap, and he would peel an apple and we would eat it together.
Oh yeah? Were times hard then? Did you feel as if y'all had a lot to work a lot to get by, or?
Well, I had no feelings about that. I guess I was very pleased with the way things were going. I wasn't unhappy about anything.
Tell me about your brothers and sisters.
I had 2 brothers.
And what were their names and ages?
They were, one was 3 and one was a tiny baby. When my father died, I was 6. And I had a little brother, 3, and a tiny baby brother. And so we lived with my grandparents. And, that was just the only family life I've ever known.
Which of your grandparents did you live with?
My mother's family, yeah. And my father's family lived close by. We could walk from one family to the other. So we had close contact with both families.
And in which county was this?
In Burt County, North Carolina.
Burt County.
It was in Conley Springs, a little town called Conley Springs, is where I grew up. And there really was a natural springs there. That the family had a well on the back that we used the water from. But this was good water, and there was a spring house where they could keep the milk and whatever in this little house, and the creek run through it and kept everything nice and cool.
Nice and cool. Could you play in the creek too? Did you play cool down hot summer days?
Yeah, sure did. Yeah. We walked to school. We walked about 3 miles to school and enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
And I guess we went every day, that the snow wasn't so deep we couldn't walk, because I don't remember staying at home for anything.
What was the name of the school you first went to?
Columbia Springs Elementary School.
And do you remember how many students were in there?
No, I don't remember a thing about that. I think there was 6 grades in the school.
6th grade? Well, where did you go after you went to Conley Springs?
Well, we moved, my mother married a second time, and we moved to Hickory. And from then on, I didn't have much of a life. I went to school until I was 13, and one of my neighbors was foreman, I guess you would call it, in the hosiery mill. So he gave me a job, and I went to work when I was 13 years old. From then on, I've been on my own, taking care of myself until I got married and had my family. And after Woody died, then I've been on my own again.
Tell me a little bit more, Mima, about how you met Woody and where you were and how long you courted before you were married.
Okay. I was living in Hickory with a friend of mine, and he worked at a place close by, and he would see me, and he told my best friend that he wanted to meet me. So she introduced us, and our first date was we went to the fair. Hickory had a big county fair, so we went to the fair. We had a great time, and from then on we dated until we got married. And
do you remember what year it was that you met and how long you dated before what year you got married in?
No, I really don't. I don't remember those dates at all.
Okay. And where did you get married?
We got married, well, we went to South Carolina and got married. And a friend, of course, went with us because we had to have witnesses. And we got married and came back and had a little apartment. And we lived in that little apartment, I guess, a couple years.
Was this in Hickory?
In Hickory. Yeah, all of this was in Hickory.
Okay. Mom says to ask you about moving to Maryland during the war. Tell me a little bit about that.
I don't remember too much about that because everybody was moving at that time. But Woody had a heart condition, and so he wasn't accepted in service. So he had to stay at home. He had a job. And we lived in a little company house, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a little 4-room house. We had 2 bedrooms, so that's where June was born. And we had a wonderful life because and I was the silliest mother. When the neighbors would come in, and she would kiss June's hand, and I would hold her hand then until the neighbor left so I could wash her before I let her suck her hand again.
Too funny. Tell me more about your mothering and what it was like to have a little daughter.
Well, I enjoyed every minute of it. She was a good kid. I had no problem with her, and so she just let me be as lazy as I wanted to be. And she'd sit around and do her thing, enjoy her little life, and we had a real good time. We'd go out visiting friends, and then we'd go shopping at different places, and I'd put her in the stroller, and all the soldiers would admire that beautiful baby and talk with her, and she loved every bit of it.
So for how many years were you in Maryland before you came back to North Carolina? Walk me through that a little bit, if you would.
I can't remember exactly why we came back, whether he got a job in Charlotte or what, but we came back to Charlotte even during the war.
It was during the war?
And we got a little house on Chesterfield Avenue. It was a little 2-bedroom white house, and we lived in that. We lived there, I guess, about 4 years, and then we rented a bigger house.
This was in Charlotte too?
All of the rest of our life was in Charlotte.
It's in Charlotte, yeah.
So that's where June grew up and had her school life and college life, and I think June must have had a good life. She never did complain about it.
Had a good life.
She had a good life.
I felt a lot of love.
That's a lot of love, yeah.
We never had any problems with her. So many people would complain about their children having so many telephone calls and different things they would do. But I never had any problems with June. She was an ideal kid.
She's an ideal mother, too.
Yeah.
Just like I'm an ideal kid, too, right, Mom?
Oh, yes.
Tell me more about parenting, and tell me things that you all like to do as a family, Mima. Tell me things that y'all really enjoy. Did you enjoy travel, or what kinds of things would you do in Charlotte?
Well, we just lived a busy life in Charlotte. I know our ministers had a child the same age as June, and so she would go home with us on Sunday afternoon. A lot of times spend, from church, go home and spend Sunday afternoon with us. Then Sunday night, their mother said they couldn't keep her awake because we kept her so busy. All she wanted to do was sleep.
Yeah.
Because we did live a busy life. We were doing something all the time. We'd either walk over to Chantilly School, or we had something to do all the time. We didn't just sit down and talk.
Tell me about a typical day. You get up with a typical work day for you and Woody, and with Mom going to school. Tell me about what time you got up, and about breakfast, and when you went to work, and when you came home, and what you did after that. Just what you did in the evening to relax.
Well, that was just so natural. I don't remember much about it. We'd get up and dress and have our breakfast, and
were you early risers?
yeah, we had to get up real early, and June went to, I think I went to work before June had to go to school, but her dad was still at home with her until she went to school. And you'll have to ask her about her school life.
I walked to school.
Walked to school?
Even in Charlotte, they had neighborhood schools, and I would walk to school.
Yeah.
That's right.
Then I would get home about 3 o'clock or so, and
she'd call me when she got home. We'd talk a little while, and I got home then about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So,
and would you usually cook dinner? Would you?
all the time.
yeah,
What?
All the time.
All the time?
all
Yeah.
the time.
What kinds of things you like to cook?
Just regular food.
You feel free to have some of your coffee, Mima.
We had a lot of chicken. June probably remembers more about the food than I do.
Sure. And so after dinner, what would y'all do?
We just sit at home, and she'd have her schoolwork to take care of. She'd call her friends after she got her work done talk with her friends or have somebody in, and we just lived a simple little life. No, we stayed at home every night.
Mark, one of my daddy's favorite sayings was he thought Mother was the best cook in the world, and so after she would have a good dinner, and it may not be anything but pot roast with potatoes and carrots and onions, and he said, "This is so good, we should wrap it up and send some of this to the president." He thought that was one of his favorite sayings, wrap it up and send it to the president.
Oh,
He
yeah.
thought I was one of the best cooks that ever. He thoroughly enjoyed
I
it.
bet you were. I've had some of your cooking. You are a good cook.
And he was a wonderful husband. I couldn't have had a better one.
What are some of the things you most liked about him?
Well, he was full of fun. He always liked to tease somebody, and he was seemed to really enjoy life, and he enjoyed his family. He thought June was the only thing under the sun.
Sounds like he treated you very well too.
He was awfully good to me. Better than I deserved, I'll tell you. Better than I treated him.
Well, it sounds like you kept his belly awfully happy.
What?
It sounds like you kept his belly awfully happy. You kept him well fed.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So I think you must have
I
treated him pretty
enjoyed
well.
cooking, and he enjoyed my food, so we got along real well there.
He was a good-looking man too, from what I can
He
see in the
was.
pictures.
Really a good-looking guy.
And he was always happy and always whistled when he worked, and he worked all the time. I can't remember a time when, over the weekends or when he was home, that he wasn't working. So he was a hard worker. He could,
He
fix
kept our yard
anything.
looking really nice. It looked better than anybody's in the neighborhood. And he did all the work and had a garden spot that we almost lived out of in the summertime.
Oh yeah? Grew a lot of vegetables? Yep. You really enjoyed your tomatoes too. I know that, I'll tell the tape that me and Mom was growing tomatoes up until about 3 years ago. Had our little tomato patch and still loves a nice fresh tomato.
Yeah.
What else do you remember from that time period, from your time period with Woody, Mima?
Remember what?
What else do you remember from that time period with Woody?
Well, I just remember us being together, going to Burlington and visiting his family. And of course, my family lived here. I just had, at that time, I had 2 half-brothers. Now I just have one. And my mother lived with us. Woody took care of my mother and my brothers until they got old enough to get out and get a job and take care of themselves. Then Mama lived with us until she died. So that's about. We didn't have any exciting things to happen. We didn't have money enough to do very much of anything. We just enjoyed living.
Tell Mark about the place at the beach.
Well, we had this, we've bought a lot in Windy Hill before Windy Hill was anything, and built this little house down there that we thoroughly loved. I wish I still had it. And it was just a simple little house, but it was sitting back in kind of a little wooded area, and within walking distance of the beach. So we enjoyed that, and I kept that until I don't remember the year, but anyway, my friend Margaret Sander, we decided we wanted to travel some, and that's when I sold the beach house, and we would take a big trip every summer, go to Europe or somewhere and stay, and had a real good life as long as she lived. But she was getting ready to come to Charlotte to visit me one weekend. We had a trip planned. I don't remember where we were going, but she got sick and couldn't make the trip, so she died without ever getting back to Charlotte. I don't remember what that year was either, but since that time, it's just been kind of a everyday, slow life. Nothing happens.
You tell me about, you mentioned her as a friend. Tell me about some of your other longtime friends like Naomi, some other family members that are important in your life still.
Well, of course my brother has been the only family member in my life that when he and his wife lived in Charlotte, we were just family.
Sure.
Did everything together and enjoyed everything. But when Worth died, my youngest brother, his wife married again and moved away from Charlotte. So she and we're still friends, but we don't have that much in common. And Hilda had 2 little boys, and they grew up, and I never hear from them or see them, but they still both live. They don't live, neither one of them live in Charlotte, but I still claim them as my brothers.
Sure. Tell me about your friend Naomi. I think you talked to her day before yesterday. She's been a nice lifelong friend of yours, or at least for the last while.
Yeah, we've been friends almost since I can remember. We worked together years ago, and she had a daughter about the same age as June, although Sandra and June never had a lot in common. Sandra was boy crazy, really. And so Sandra finally got married, and she still lives next door to her mother. They are real close. But she just has the one daughter. All the children she had twin babies, and they died, so she never had any more children. But she's doing real well. In fact, she still drives her automobile and goes everywhere she wants to go. Goes to church every Sunday.
Tell me a little bit about church, Mima, and the role that church has played in your life, if you would.
Well, I've always gone to church. I can't remember the time that I didn't go to church on Sunday morning. That was just part of our life. We'd get up and have breakfast and get ready to go to Sunday school and go to church. And I've continued that all my life, and still enjoy my church family, although they don't visit, and naturally I can't go to church, so I miss my church life, and very few of them visit me anymore, and I miss that.
Are there other things you would like to discuss, Mima? I would like to, if we can just rewind a little bit. I was also going to ask you about things in your early childhood, just kind of like we talked about what a day looked like with you and Mom and Woody living together, I was also going to ask and see if you can help me, like when you were 4 or 5, do you remember, or even when you were 10, what a typical...
The first thing that I remember is when I was 6 years old and my father died.
I see.
And we moved into my grandfather's home. And there was no children close by. We lived out in the country. So I had to build my own playhouses and my own life. And I remember there was a garden space between the house and the regular garden. There was a space.
I'm going to hide your wheelchair.
Please don't. I can't live without it.
Will you walk every time you can?
I'll walk, yeah, some.
Will you walk at least to meals?
I'll try.
No, that's not good enough.
I'm not going to promise, but I'll walk.
Hide your wheelchair. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll have to buy another one then.
Sorry, my battery ran out on us. Mom, wave to the camera. Come around this way. Wave to the camera. Yeah, sorry, it was in the middle of you were telling about your memory, and you were thinking about the garden between the house and
the garden and the regular
the garden, yeah,
vegetable garden. And I would go down there and build little rabbit houses. Take flowers and build little places. I call my rabbit house.
Oh yeah.
And that's where the rabbits would lay my Easter eggs. I would go down there Easter morning and find my Easter eggs.
Oh yeah? That's fun.
My aunt, I had one aunt that was still at home that wasn't married yet. And she was real good to me. She did a lot of nice things for me as a kid. But she knew that I didn't have any playmates. So my little brothers had each other to play with, and I was kind of a loner.
And what was your aunt's name?
Aunt Grace.
Aunt Grace.
Grace Stillwell. And she got married, and she's had a very tragic life. She married this guy, and they had 3 children, and everybody thought everything was just fine. And one weekend, she came home to stay with her parents, which was very unusual. But her husband, brought her. He wanted her to be with her parents. He went home and set fire to the house, got in the car and was going to drive to California. But I guess he told somebody what he was doing, so he got stopped. They put him in the insane asylum. As far as I know, he stayed there until he died. I never got to see him anymore after that. But my Aunt Grace lived. She had a pretty hard time, but she managed to keep her little family together and keep her little house.
When you were a kid, did y'all take vacations to the beach, and did you go to the mountains for the beach?
We didn't have hardly money enough to go downtown on Saturday.
No. Did you grow up on a farm, or did you grow up?
Yeah, it was out in the country on a farm. My grandfather had a turnip patch and in his garden, and we had an orchard with different kind of fruit trees. And I'd climb fruit trees.
Did you have any animals?
Yes, but we never our animals were usually work animals. They were not pets.
That's it. So you just, I mean, did you have cows and?
Yeah, we had cows and dogs, and even our dogs were not, they weren't allowed in the house, not even on the porch hardly. They were yard dogs.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and they stayed at the barn.
Okay.
And slept out in the barn.
Okay.
And I guess they followed us or we followed them or something, but they weren't pets exactly.
No. Did you have chores to do around the house when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Tell me about your chores.
Well, I didn't have very many chores. All of our waters came from a well on the back porch, and I usually drew all the water and kept enough water for all the household use. And of course we had outdoor toilets, so everybody went outdoors to the toilet. There was no water there, so
Do you think you had a hard life, or was it about the same as everybody else's?
it was as good as everybody else's. Maybe a little bit better than most of the neighbors. I had a good life. We ate well. My grandmother was a wonderful cook, and she knew how to take care of everything. We didn't waste anything.
No.
Like if we were eating an apple, we didn't throw the core down on the ground. We put it in a bucket for the pigs to eat, and it was carried and fed to the pigs. So we didn't waste anything. I grew up very frugal.
Did you have cows on your farm? Would you milk the cows?
And I never did learn to milk.
You didn't have to milk the cows. That's good. For you, do you remember the Depression being more a tight time for you? Were things harder during the Depression?
Well, we didn't. Things were hard during the Depression. Like maybe I had 2 dresses. We didn't have a lot of anything. We just barely had enough to get by on. But we ate well. We always had plenty to eat. My grandmother was a wonderful cook, a good housekeeper, and I've had a very frugal life, but I've had a good life.
What are some of your happiest memories about me, Ma?
I don't remember much about my real early life. It was just a regular, we just got up and ate and dressed and went to school and came home and played until time to wash and get ready for dinner, and come in for the night. But in my early dating life, I lived in the home with my girlfriend. I was just one of the family, and we had a real good life. Mrs. Wright was a wonderful cook, and I was just one of the family, really. They treated me just as they did the other girls in the family. So I've really had in one way, I've had a good life, but I did not have a good home life with a loving family like a father and mother and my brothers and sisters around.
Remind me how your father died?
Well, it was in, I don't remember anything much about it except it was in 1918, and it was early spring, and he died, and my mother was so devastated. There she was left with 3 babies. I was 6 years old and the oldest one, and she had a 3-year-old and a baby in arms, just a few months old. So I don't think she cared whether she lived or died. I remember her walking out to the barn in the cold, but she went barefooted in the rain out there, I guess to milk the cow or whatever she had to do. And I knew that wasn't good, but I didn't know anything I could do about it. So that has kind of been my life all the time. In one way, I lived real well. I've always had plenty to eat. My mother was an excellent seamstress, and she liked to sew, so I always had nice clothes. And she did a lot of handwork, and all my collars and cuffs and my underwear had handmade lace trim on it. And I remember the teachers always pulling out my dress and looking at my slips and my drawers.
Admiring your clothes?
I always had such pretty lace on it.
Oh, wow.
My grandparents were real kind and never yelled at us or anything. We never had any, family feuds or fusses or anything. Everybody got along beautifully.
Sounds like you had a very warm environment to grow up.
Then I met Woody, and we got married, and from then on, we had the little baby girl, and we both thoroughly adored her, and we never had any more children. So I guess he had pneumonia and died. I don't remember too much about that. I just remember kind of being in a daze. I didn't know what to do. Had no idea where I would go or how I'd make a living or anything. But my grandparents took us in and took care of us. So.
Woody was a good father to Mama?
Yeah, he was. He simply adored her. He loved children anyway. And of course he thought his was the only one that was ever born. So he was really a good father. And she loved him dearly too.
And he died at what point of Mom's life?
Well, she was really in college when he died. It was her first year in school, and everything was going along just fine. But I guess he got pneumonia and just died immediately. He wasn't sick long. He just looked like sick one day and was dead the next one. And I didn't know what to do, which way to turn or anything. There I was with 3 little children.
You continued to work? You worked at the
And the hosiery mill.
hosiery mill? How many years did you end up working there total?
Oh, I never had counted them, but I worked there until I can't remember my first job with the school. I guess when June started at school, I started working for the school when she was 6. And I never worked in the mill anymore. And since then I worked for the school board, or the Board of Education, until I retired.
And you worked in their office there?
Right.
Did you enjoy work?
Yeah, I did. You know, I would have loved to have had a house and a husband to take care of me and to have a regular home life with children. But since it didn't work out like that, I enjoyed my work, did the best job I could. And June was an easy kid to take care of. She never gave me any problems.
A good person. Would you have done anything differently over the course of your life?
No, I don't know of anything that I wish I had done differently. I didn't have the education to get out and have a better job. I just had to do what I was capable of doing.
Tell me about the most. Go ahead. Oh, you go ahead. You were going to start a thought.
Well, I don't remember exactly what I was going to say, but anyway, I think we had a good life. We didn't have a lot of money to spend, but we enjoyed what we did have and enjoyed our family. We had this little house, and I enjoyed cooking and being a housewife and mother, and he was a good husband. So, and June was a good kid. We never had any problems with her. Other parents would complain about their kids staying on the telephone all the time, and of course she had her friends that she would talk to on the phone, but she wasn't on the telephone excessively. So I never did have to fuss at her about it. So I had a good husband and a good kid.
That's good.
You can't ask for much better than that, can you?
No, that's true. Only to have a wonderful grandchild too.
Right.
And which you've got.
That's right. And I thoroughly enjoyed him.
What period in your life would you consider the most challenging? What do you think, your childhood or after Woody's death, or what was?
After Woody's death,
Yeah.
was the most challenging.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know which way to turn or what to do.
What did you learn from that? What kinds of things did you learn?
Well, I learned that I could take care of me and the baby, and before I wouldn't have ever thought about being able to take care of myself. But somehow, I guess I got a job with the Board of Education, so I could get her off to school and get ready to go to my job with the schools. So we got along real well. She went to college and married a pretty nice guy up there.
Yeah, that's right.
And had a darling baby. I wish that marriage had lasted. I liked Austin an awful lot.
Mm.
I still like him.
Yeah. He's a good man.
I don't know why they couldn't get along, but
I've got some interesting questions here for you. Would you define happiness for me? Your version of happiness, or your definition of happiness?
it's just being content with what you have, not wanting things that you know that are impossible to have, and being happy with what you have.
How about success? How would you define success?
In the same way as working as hard as you can at your job, doing the best job you know how. And usually if you do that, you get along all right.
What are some of the values and ideals and beliefs that have helped you to live and have helped you to have guided you throughout your life, or that you've learned?
Well, I think going to church and knowing that God's going to take care of me, and living the best life I know how is the only thing that I can contribute life to. And I guess having good parents and wonderful grandparents, good family life. And our family has never had any quarrels. You know, some families have family feuds going on all the time. Our family's never had that. We always seem to like each other and get along real well with whatever we had.
Tell me about some of the lessons you've learned and the things that you've come to know in your older age and that you'd like to pass on. Some of the things that, some life lessons, I guess, that you've known.
Well, I guess just doing the very best you know how with whatever you have, and not not wanting something that you know that you didn't have the money to have, that you're content with what you do have.
Mima, how would you like to be remembered?
As to being a kind, loving person.
I think you are.
And as far as I've never done anything to hurt anybody or to make them feel badly. I've always wanted everybody to feel good about themselves and good about me.
And I think you have done a good job. Are there other things you'd like to talk about, Mima?
Yeah. I hope that you and Carolyn will have a good life and will have a family. And finally settle down in a little home together and have a good married life. I just want you to be happy.
Well, thank you. Means a lot. I guess we haven't talked about the fact that this is Laura Lake Lodge here behind you. And that's your home now, yes, Mima?
That's my only home now, and I don't know exactly how I wound up here, but since your mother lived in North Wilkesboro, and she thought this would be a good place for me to live, and I moved here. I have enjoyed it. Everybody has been nice and kind, and I have no problems.
Eat very well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Feed you well?
Yeah, they feed us too well. We have wonderful food, have good cooks, and everybody's kind. We don't have any disputes.
Lots of nice people. Tell me about your typical day here. You do some exercise here and stay very busy. You've been walking more. You were in a wheelchair for a little while, and now you've been walking a little bit more often.
Well, we just get up in the mornings and have our leisurely breakfast and get dressed and go down to the living room and do whatever anybody wants to do. Usually the bus takes a trip out every day, goes somewhere on a shopping tour, and anybody that wants to go out shopping can go. And I don't go on any of the trips because not being able to see anything, I feel like I'm better off just sitting at home than I am just riding, doing nothing and seeing nothing. So, and usually the buses are full anyway. There wouldn't be an extra seat. So, it's just a typical day.
And you're how old? How old are you? Tell the camera how old you are.
I'm 93 years old.
93 years old. Today is June, what is it, 19th?
I was born in
20th.
March the 7th, 1912.
That's right.
And then I was married June the 20th in 1930.
Were you really? Married June 20th? That's today. This is your wedding anniversary.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
That's right.
What year were you married?
Let's see. I was born in 1912, and I guess I was married when I was 18. What year would that be?
It would be 12, 28, 4, what is that? If you were 18, that'd be 1930.
Okay, 1930.
Wow.
1930 was on my mind, but I couldn't remember what date that was.
I got you. So this would have been your 75th wedding anniversary today. That's amazing, isn't it?
I know it, and June doesn't know that, I'm sure.
Well, I'll catch up with her and tell her that. That's amazing. It's a shame Woody's not here to celebrate it with you.
I know it.
Would have had many, many fine years of marriage.
But I never hear anything from the Wilson family at all.
They're still around Burlington, you say?
Uh-huh. They're all together and have their own life, and I'm up here by myself, so they don't pay me any mind.
Well, you're not quite by yourself. You got Mom and I with you.
Right.
Thomas comes to visit.
I'm well taken care of, that's for sure.
Very loved. We've got a combination of the battery getting ready to run out and the tape getting ready to expire.
And I'm getting awfully warm.
You're getting awfully warm? Yeah. Okay, well we'll go back inside. We can take more video tomorrow or sometime. Is there anything else you want to tell the camera, Mima?
Right now I can't think of anything else.
That's fine. That's just fine. I think the cloud is going to give us some respite right there.
Okay.
You want me to take that for you?
I'll let you unhook me and take care of your equipment.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll take your coffee cup,
Okay.
put it here with mine. Thank you for your time.
I've enjoyed it.
It has been nice. Let me get these off of you. I appreciate you sharing everything with me.